You guys, I am so excited to say welcome back to So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. This is a Monday episode, so even though some things have changed in my personal life, you are going to get pretty much the same show. And how we always start our Mondays is with a pop culture roundup, and we have the best to do it. She's been with the show now for, it feels like, a couple of years. I know time means nothing anymore, but I couldn't be more excited to have her be the first guest on the new iteration of So Bad It's Good, which is the same So Bad It's Good that you've grown up loving or hating or grown up. Anyways, this is already a mess. So one of the most brilliant writers and people I know, Miss Sophie Ross. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, everyone. Hi, betches.
Hey, betches.
We're so back.
We are so back. You guys, this is Sunday. We're recording this, and the Betches offices are closed on the weekends, so we couldn't do it in studio. So this is really like old times. There is not much difference except that there's like a fancy little soundboard that I've been putting clips into, like
pat the puss, drop it down.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
When you said soundboard, I was waiting for the woke moment.
Woke moment. This is Che Diaz. Thank you. Sophie, how the heck have you been? I know we're in the NFL football season, and I noticed the team of note for you is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I just did some cursory research, and it looks like they're 0 for 2.
Yeah, not doing too great. Not doing too great. Joe Burrow is injured again, and you know what?
Wait, Joe Burrow got injured? What? It's not just Aaron Rodgers?
No, he got injured in training camp, and he re-aggravated his injury today in our loss today. So, but you know what? I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm a lifer. I'm here for the good. I'm here for the bad. Yes. So, you know,
there are so many seasons.
I ride with my boy.
That's exactly how I felt during Vanderpump Rules season 8 and 9. Not good seasons, but I was ride or die. And then I waited for season to 10, and then it was good again.
Exactly. You just have to ride out the bad times, and you know it's going to be okay. But I've missed you so much, Ryan. I think I speak for everyone when I say we've missed you. We love you. We hope you felt all the love these past few weeks, and you're just so loved.
I really did feel that, and I want to send a special. I know this goes against your hardcore image, but I do want a special shout out to Sophie and her mom, Amy, and all the Ross family. Just sent really beautiful gifts and this really, and always checked in. And your mom, Amy, really just always checked in on me. And I there's no joke there, so I hesitate to say it, but truly thank you. And I really did feel the love from everybody. It is really intense to go through this. And then also, I mean, it's amazing, but to have so many people, like I told my, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I'm already bad at responding to people. And now everybody all of a sudden responded to me. And it is just so incredible and overwhelming for me and my dad and my sister. And even at my mom's memorial, we had all the cards and all the postcards from everybody from the show that had written to my mom over the last year. And it was, I mean, just really, and all of her friends knew about the show and how proud of all of it she was. And people keep saying that my mom is potentially listening to this in heaven. And I'm like, why would you, if heaven exists, why would we ever want podcasts to be there? Wouldn't you be having like a dance off? Like you have, like everybody says there's like good wine in heaven and stuff. Would you slow down your day to listen to a podcast?
Ryan, I feel like we've had this conversation before, and if there is a heaven, I want to be on my phone. I want to just be scrolling. I want to have my podcasts. I want to be able to just like go up to my room. You know, we talked about this when people would make those drawings of like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Kobe Bryant, like playing poker in heaven. I'm like, I don't want to have to like hang out with people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard so much about heaven in this last month and year and things like that. And My mom always said it's not something that we could even imagine. You know, it's not even worth thinking about because how could we possibly imagine? And I've got to go with that because every time I'm like, do they have Bravo in heaven? And you get to see the never before seen footage? And also, if it is heaven, you would get to see the Sprinter van footage. Like all the stuff that they didn't put in the episode, you would have the heaven machine, and the heaven machine would be like, here's actually what Kathy Hilton said at that nightclub.
I like to think that that is heaven. Like, I literally just hope that everyone has their own bedroom, everyone has their own TV, everyone gets their iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, that would be heaven to me.
I would just then imagine losing your iPhone in heaven and how embarrassing that would, because you have to check in with God or one of his, maybe like, I totally lost it. I was near a cloud somewhere. I swear to God, if you help me find it, and then who do you pray? Do you pray to St. Anthony if you lose something? Because my mom always be like, pray to St. Anthony if you lose something. And I lost stuff all the time. So who do you pray for if you lose something in heaven? And my sister says that we are like, you know, we keep our, it's our bodies, but it's like the best we ever looked at like what age. And I'm like, what age would that be for you, Sophie? If you were like the best is it now? Or is it like, is there an age where you're like, I would love to be in this body forever?
Probably like age 21 for me.
For me, it was like 7 or 8. Like I was such a cute kid. And I think the years have taken its toll. And like, do you get to choose what age? There are so many rules that I feel like we just don't have the answer for. So I guess we're probably not going to figure it out today, Sophie. Do you think?
That's actually what this whole episode is about, is us just talking about St. Anthony. Is that, so St. Anthony, is he the saint of like lost things? Like, explain it to a Jew, which by the way, happy Jewish New Year, everyone.
Yes. Happy New Year. Yes. So St. Anthony was a saint that you would, I mean, listen, I don't know. I feel now really bad. It's like, I don't know St. Anthony's whole history. It was just something that my mom always said, pray to St. Anthony. And he's like the patron saint of helping you find your shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, what's his lore? Now I want to know.
Is he a part of a Marvel movie or something? Is he part of the Avengers? Like there's a lot of Heather Gay, by the way, in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City keeps bringing up the Mormon religion. And the Mormon religion is really cool because they have magic underwear, the temple garments, and that's supposed to protect you if you get into a car accident or something. If you're wearing the Mormon underwear, it's supposed to protect you, which is kind of like a superhero. That's kind of exciting.
Wait, that's a real thing?
Yes. Yeah, they wear temple garments. And that's why Heather Gay said in the first episode of Salt Lake, when she said she was never used to wearing a thong and she had to borrow her daughters when she left the Mormon church. I believe she said that in the first episode of this season, which I was kind of like, oh God, like you asked your daughter to borrow one of her thongs. Is that legal, Sophie? Is that healthy?
No, that's not healthy. Okay, I'm looking up temple garments.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're just getting our footing, folks. We're starting heavy.
Wait, that'd be so funny. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but when you look it up, it's like literally like long johns. Yeah. What if it was like a sexy thong? What if it was like a Victoria's Secret, like angel?
Kim Kardashian. Like... What if Mormon Skims, Mims? Kim Kardashian, there is an untapped market for Skims for Mormons. Like
Skims for Mormons.
Nothing
comes
between me and my love of the Holy Spirit.
Gotta leave room for the Holy Spirit. So I'm drinking coffee right now because I've just been really sleepy all weekend. And so first of all, I hope I don't need a bathroom break within the next hour. If you know what I'm saying. Second of all, my boyfriend was like, I'm going to bring you a drink during your recording. And he brought me what I think is a glass of milk.
Wait, is he trying to do a bit for the show? Did he literally give you a glass of milk? Guys, I'm looking at it right now. It literally is either glue or a glass of milk.
It's glue. No, there's some sort of alcohol in here. It's like boozy eggnog or something. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, also, the coffee cup she has, you guys, says trick or treat. So Sophie is Sophie's a fall girl. Sophie is tapping into, I think we're in September right now, but you have a trick or treat mug. But I'm more concerned still about the milk or even the boozy eggnog. It's
I need to ask him what this is. This is not something I was thinking, maybe like a beer or like, a cocktail.
It's a glass of milk.
It's a glass of milk with something that tastes alcoholic in it. I'm going to have to ask him after this. Whoa!
Did he come in with a shawl at all? Was he like, so
he just came in and I like chewed him out as he placed it, but I should have asked him.
Listen, you put down my milk right then and there. Okay, let's get to some news, you guys. Let's start off with something that really troubled me over the last couple of weeks. Is this Lindsay Hubbard, Carl Radke from the show Summer House. They were engaged. They were about to be married. And Carl did call it off right before all the festivities were going to happen. And then he sent an email because all of these people bought tickets to Mexico for their destination wedding, which destination weddings are always, you got to really be sure you're going to be marrying that person and staying with them, because a destination wedding is a lot to ask from somebody. But he sent out this email to everyone saying, we're so sorry. We're horrified. And then Lindsay was like, I wasn't a part of that statement. This is Lindsay's actual statement that she posted. And I thought this was really well written, but I'm excited to hear Sophie's thoughts. She writes, I would like to start by saying thank you for allowing me this space and time to process my emotions, heal, and grieve the loss of not only my relationship, but my friendship with someone I considered my best friend for 8 years. The last 2 weeks have been the most heartbreaking and emotional weeks of my life. My entire life and future was ripped out from underneath me, and I've had a hard time making sense of it all with no answers or closure on why. I feel humiliated by how it went down, and simultaneously heartbroken that it happened in the first place. My trust has been betrayed, and coming to terms with that has been difficult for me. This was not my decision, and I do not agree with quitting a relationship at this level without trying everything possible first. I've spent the last couple of weeks finding my own closure and peace. I am forever grateful to my best friends who have not left my side and have been picking up the pieces of my heart and life every day from the fallout. I am still grieving and trying to process all that has happened, but I felt it was important to update you all. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for the love and support from my friends, family, castmates, and all of you for carrying me through. Lindsay, P.S. Carl used to bring me milk. Who's going to bring me milk now? No. Okay, Sophie, what did you think of that statement from Lindsay Hubbard?
It was so raw. Like, I obviously feel heartbroken for her. Like, I can't even imagine. And that, all she has wanted is to have a family. And, we also know about her deep-rooted abandonment issues with her mother. And to have this, I will not forget where I was. I was actually in France. And we were like in a cab. I remember exactly. It was one of those events where I will never forget where I was. And I was just in shock. Like, it's been a couple weeks now, and like, I'm still just wrapping my head around it. And yeah, I'm devastated for Lindsay. I'm like, what the fuck, Carl?
And also, no matter if you like Lindsay on the show, but even if you don't like Lindsay on the show, I think we can all agree this is a horrible way. And also like Craig, by the way, Craig Conover, my favorite housewife, he said in an interview, he said, it'll make more sense when the season airs. And it's like, that sucks too, because when the season does it, it's like, we have to relive this. And most of the scenes that probably give this context Lindsay will be seen for the first time. So she's going to have to relive all of this crap that she's been going through.
I can't even imagine. Like, it literally is just like the worst scenario ever, not just having, your fiance call off your wedding, less than 2 months to go, but having to do it publicly. And that's kind of the price you have to pay when you're like a public figure on these shows.
That's showbiz, baby.
And then also, that's showbiz, baby. But then having to relive it in 6 months when this all airs, like, what a nightmare scenario. Like, it's just a nightmare. I feel terrible for her. And Carl's I like laughed at Carl's like letter that he sent the guests, which like who leaked that? I'm glad they did, but like who leaked that? First of all,
I mean, I think it's got to be Paige and Craig. Paige and Craig. I think that they've got to be the people that leaked it. No, I'm joking. I don't think they were invited.
Did you? Okay. Also, speaking of Craig, in that like statement or like that interview that he was doing when he was talking about it, he had that huge like smile on his face at the end. Like literally fuck off, Craig. I can't stand
Craig. That's why I say Craig's one of my favorite housewives, because he loves the drama. He loves it so much. And I mean, like even on this week's Southern Charm, which we'll talk about in a second, you know, the show really comes to life when Craig reaches full peak housewife, when he's like, don't you tell me nothing. Like I like when he gets all finger pointy, but also I said this to a friend. I was like, I want to subpoena Paige DeSorbo's text messages after this came out, because Paige just probably shit all over this whole thing from her bed. And that makes me so sad. I hope those girls really, really stood by Lindsay, even though they don't like her.
Well, it seems like they've all liked her statement on Instagram. And, you know, from what we've heard, it seemed like the girls are quote unquote like rallying around her. But you know, Paige is so freaking smug. There was like right when the news broke, there was like a Giggly Squad like live show, and someone took a recording of someone asking about it. She was like, oh, there's tea, all right, with like a smile. Like her and Craig deserve each other. Like they take so much pleasure in other people's pain. I can't stand those two.
But okay, by the way, this is peak so bad it's good right now. We finally, like, it was a little bumpy, but now we're back to the Paige and Craig. I can't stand it. So we're firing on all cylinders right now. But I will say this. Mm-hmm. You've always said that you think Paige and Craig will not make it. And I will say, even after watching her on Southern Charm, I think they will make it. They'll just be completely miserable for the remainder of their lives, potentially.
Oh, I mean, that's absolutely what they deserve. So I'm fine with that scenario for sure. But no, I mean, watching the Southern Charm premiere, first of all, like, how many times do we have to watch this conversation? This exact conversation of Craig being like, well, we've been dating for more than a year now, so what's the next step? And like Paige just like doesn't. What?
Your Craig imitation is really good. We've been dating. What's the next step? What?
Yeah, and it's like Paige just not wanting to commit. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Everyone's like, oh, well, that's just Paige's like personality. I'm like, if you're like, you know, ride or die for a guy, if you're like, this is the guy, you will like want to commit to that next step. I'm sorry. She hates him. She cannot stand him. I'm telling you.
Paige reminds me of George Costanza from Seinfeld. And George Costanza got engaged to a lady during the course of the show. And then, you know, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Seinfeld, she dies. But like George would go and complain to Jerry, be like, I can't do it. I can't do it, Jerry. I can't do it. And then he was like thankful that she passed away. And I think like every time Paige sees that pool getting more finished, she's like getting more and more scared, because she's like, oh, geez, like he's really building this home around me. I think it's like, oh shit, how am I going to get out of this one? I like to think of her as George Costanza, and she's just like, when the cameras are off, she's like, Hannah, how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. He's one of my best girlfriends, but I just can't do it.
He's one of my best girlfriends. As the pool is getting closer to being done, and she's thinking about how she can like stage an accident.
Oh God. Well, no, but poor Craig, like Craig seems like he is like willing to do anything that she wants. Like, if you want to paint that pool pink, let's paint that pool pink. Like, he'll like kind of grumble about it, but then he'll go and do whatever she wants. And I kind of get it from Paige. Like, Paige has a full-blown career in New York. She's not looking to go down to Charleston. Even though she keeps saying and by the way, you guys, I understand a lot of you are Paige fans. This is just speculation. And also I'm trying to be silly, but I do think it's very interesting that Craig seems like he wants this so bad. And every time she's on, she says something pretty different.
Exactly. And we've seen the conversation so many times. Like, get it through your thick skull, Craig. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you like that. You're just one of her best girlfriends.
And by the way, I'm saying all this, and I still think they're going to get married. I still think they're going to get married, but I really, really do. But I guess we'll see. But what else did you think about Southern Charm? Because I thought it was a pretty decent episode because these guys, like whether it be Carl, whether it be Tom Sandoval, we are just the biggest bunch of dork genders there is. We are like these guys, Tweedledum, Tweedledee, and Tweedlediddle, you know, Craig, Austin, and Shep. I mean, that's just a good show because they make so many mistakes.
I was super into the premiere. I think there are a lot of like interesting dynamics. First of all, Taylor needs to let it go. She needs to let it go. I'm sorry.
Okay, but
I'm sorry. I know
I get
breakups suck, but like, did you not know who this person was? Like,
okay, but we all want to think that we're special, and I think he made her feel special. He made her feel like she was the one that was going to be able to lock this bucking Bronco down, and so she really stayed the course. And I think she truly, and remember, there's a huge age difference here, so she truly is like put that work in, and she has probably not had full pain like this, and it's new to her. And it is like, wait a sec, you did this, and also it's on national television, and all like. And listen, by the way, I'm not approving of her sleeping with Austin. That's gross if that's true. And I mean, you're putting yourself in your own world of hurt there. But I do understand like going, no, it's not fair because Shep, Craig, and Austin will be able to talk their way out of anything. And Taylor, like even now we're talking about Taylor needs to let it go. I'm like, no, Taylor needs to hold Shep's feet to the fire and go like, yo, dude, you really did this all those times alone with the cameras off saying that you were going to marry me and all of that stuff. That's got to mess with somebody's head.
Okay. Yes. I just think the way that she handled herself at the party was obviously, you know, not a great look. I think she was taking out her anger on Craig.
Wait, I'm going to play the clip. I'm going to play the clip of what Craig said to Taylor after this moment of Taylor yelling at Craig.
Oh my God.
Well, you don't know what's
Shep
happening.
doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself.
Taylor, I'm sorry I was upset, but you don't know what I've said to Shep. You don't know how many times I've cut
Okay,
him
what
off.
have you said to Shep?
You weren't there the night he did it. Okay?
What did you say?
I threw him through a f***ing wall. All right?
Really?
So screw you. I'm the one that, if it wasn't for me, he would have slept with the f***ing girl. And I should have let him. Jesus, stop f***ing yelling at me. I didn't cheat on you. All right? My friend did. So stop f***ing out about shit you don't know about.
What about your girl cheating on you? No! Taylor, you can't say that. Oh my God.
I love that. I didn't cheat on you. My friend did. All the while, Shep is like literally like 7 feet away. I don't know how he didn't like run over at any point, but cause Taylor was like going like, yo, dude, you watch this. Cause all guys watch, their guy friends cheat on their women. And so Craig saw all of it, but Taylor's coming for Craig.
Yes. Also, like, I genuinely don't believe that Paige cheated on Craig just from, you know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Too much
like,
work.
I know, too much work. And she, like, has commented on social media, like, laughing at it. So, like, where did that come from? Like, why did Taylor bring that up?
Out of your ass. I think she was just like.
She was pulling things out of her ass to make him upset.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that for a second. I don't think she would cheat on Craig at all. I don't think she would. I don't know. Well, I will say though, remember when she had the one boyfriend on Summer House and
Harry?
She was like, yeah, and then she was kind of flirty, and the Craig thing was in the background. And then I was trying to think of Paige's history, but in a sense, I always think of Paige as like asexual in a way, like Tom Cruise. Where it's like she's about all of these other, she's about like kind of teasing people and making her funny jokes and selling her Amazon stuff and her googly squad thing. Like that's what Paige, I don't think of her as like somebody that's like trying to get sexy with somebody, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, that scene was hilarious just because of like Craig went off. He just like, tapped into Who said it? Someone said his Rinna side. Like
Craig Rinna. Yeah, Craig Rinna.
Yeah.
And then he just walked out. He just walked off. He just walked out of the door
and then he just walked
into
off.
a field.
It was so funny though, like Shep being like, so how have you been? I can't do a good Shep impression, but like when Shep was trying to talk to Taylor and it was like so uncomfortable. And then he was like, so you preferred London because of the language barrier in Paris? She goes, no, I just liked London better. He's like always so patronizing.
Well, I mean, listen, he's an older man. He knows his way around the track. No, I mean, and what did you think about, because Austin is just sitting there being goofy Austin, and they were at the, the congratulations party for Madison and her husband. And he was kind of like, and listen, Madison's husband's a really good looking dude. And Austin's like, I don't even know, like that guy ain't got nothing on me. It was like, sir, he has everything on you. You know? I know.
He was like, I mean, I thought he was going to be some Greek god. What does he have on me? Like a job.
And he's not part of the Bravo sphere. Like, could you trust, you couldn't, guys, anybody out there, you can't date anybody from the Bravo sphere because it's like too much, there's too many cheating options where these people are just going to be cheated on for the rest of their lives and feel free to cheat on people. And then they're just going to blame it on the show.
Also, like, I know I'm segueing here, but just to like bring it back to Lindsay and Carl, like I was reading somewhere that I guess there was like, I don't know if it's true that they got like demoted to friends of. Is that true?
Thank you for segueing because we didn't even get back to the rumors about why this happened in the first place. So I am off my game. My mom died, you guys. I hear the friends of thing. It's not friends of, but I did hear they filmed a lot of separate scenes of like checking out like wedding venues and wedding things separately. But I don't know if that's necessarily like a housewife thing where it's considered friends of. I just know that they weren't in on a lot of the group scenes. But I thought that was by design.
So, yeah, that's just like what some of the rumors that I guess, they were potentially, and again, this is just speculation. Like, this is just a rumor that I was reading about online that they were demoted and that there was like some stress about money because without the summer house salaries. And again, it's like, I don't know. Would it make sense to me that they would be demoted because, this leading up to their wedding is such a huge part of, I assume, would be a huge part of this upcoming season. So I don't know. But again, it's like you think about it. Now it's like, well, who's going to stay on the show? I bet it's going to be Lindsay. And then Carl is no longer on the show. And he wanted to blow up his reality TV career. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. Carl doesn't have a job outside of reality TV.
Didn't they pay like $14,000 a month for their apartment that they shared?
Something like that, which is obviously, even for New York, that is very expensive. But like Carl without reality TV, we know he doesn't love to work. So it's like, what's his plan?
Kyle tried to say in 1,000 ways that he was not good at his job. He tried to say it in a nice way. He tried to say it in a mean way. So yeah, you're right. I am curious too about the picking back up cameras. We now had that happen on Vanderpump Rules successfully. Supposedly it happens on Beverly Hills. And then now we're going to have that happen on Summer House. And then like also, I guess the soft side of me just wants to make sure that Carl is okay in terms of, his sobriety and things of that nature. But I was also hearing tons of rumors. There were rumors out there that there was a pregnancy scare with another woman, that he was checking into hotels.
I don't believe that. I refuse to believe that. Not because I don't believe that Carl, I mean, I don't know. Not that I don't believe that Carl wouldn't cheat, but like, when have we seen Carl, like Paige, when have we seen Carl like be sexual?
I mean, well, unless he's drunk. Remember, that's
Even
when you
then.
would pull Paige into the closet. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Listen, there was obviously another rumor going around about Carl. Like, I'm so curious what it is, and I really just don't think a lot of people were like, well, Lindsay's horrible on the show. Well, you've got to also understand this was a real relationship aside from the show. So I'm wondering really what are the things that led up and how you could let this go this far. I mean, by the way, I was reminded by my buddy that one of my friends did this like 15 years ago, like got up to the altar and then canceled it at the very last minute. And then all the friends still went on the honeymoon. But like the way I was just like, wow, that actually does happen aside from reality television.
Yeah. And it's obviously, I've heard a couple stories of people doing that, calling off their weddings, not like literally on their wedding day, but like, you know, a couple months before. And it's better than getting divorced years down the line with kids involved. Like, it's obviously, you know, that you would prefer to just not get married at all than marry the wrong person and end up going through a messy divorce and, you know, all of that. So, you know, I guess kudos for making the right decision, I guess. But yeah, it's like, what led up to this?
How would this not mess up Lindsay for the rest of her life? And I don't mean that in the sense of like, oh, like, you know, women are, you know, like women take
trauma. That's traumatic.
Like, that's a lot. And this is on a, you know, a public scale that we don't have. Like when I got divorced, I didn't have to do it on a public scale like this. It was just friends and family. And that was bad enough. To be embarrassed at this level, that's like another kind of whole thing on top of, like Lindsay said in her statement, all of the other issues she's been with the past. And this is the person she considered her best friend. And I mean, Danielle, we do know it has been by Lindsay's side. So I'm curious also if Danielle has more of an answer to this. And that's why she was so against this in the season. Like, did she have information potentially on Carl that she was not revealing?
Well, either way, it's not like, oh, Danielle was right, because she like handled it. Yeah, like she like handled it the wrong way either way. But maybe she did have some insight into, oh God, he's gonna hurt you. And you know, I'm also wondering, like, Lindsay, again with her abandonment issues, she tends to, I'm assuming subconsciously, like push people to their limits to see if they'll stay. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like like, I don't know what the right word is, like a test. And I imagine that maybe, and again, this is like pure speculation, maybe she thought, you know, now that we're engaged, now that there's a ring, like, he's not going anywhere, but I'm going to keep at it and like, you know, just push him to his limits. Yeah. Right. And I don't know. That's just what I keep thinking of too. So it's because like you have
her statement, she said she would be willing to like work through it. Like she's like at
like
a relationship at this level, you work
something.
through it. And obviously he wasn't wanting to fight for it. She made that clear.
Right. So it's like you have these pre-existing abandonment issues and now you have this. Like, it's just, oh my God. My heart goes out.
I would love just to talk to Kyle and Amanda. In fact, I said this on the Patreon the other day. I had a dream about Kyle and Amanda where I got to ask them like they came over for some reason and I let them stay. And the Carl and Lindsay thing happened. And I got to, Kyle didn't want to talk about it, but he said he could answer 3 questions. So I went to the bathroom to practice my questions. And then I came back and my first question was about Loverboy, just because I wanted to kind of stoke his ego to be like, hey, how's Loverboy doing even without Carl? I was like, I'm just going to throw away a question so then Kyle trusts me more. And then the second question was like, what happened with Lindsay and Carl? And Amanda got up and left the room when I said that in my dream. So I love
how this was your dream. It's like the 5 people you meet in heaven, but it's like Kyle, Amanda.
Dude, everybody keeps saying, by the way, everybody keeps saying I'm going to be having like dreams about my mom. My mom is the one person I would love in my dreams. She's not there at all. I've got like Bethany Frankel in my dreams. I got Tom Sandoval was in my dream last night where he, where like he was just there. And I was just like, what's up, dude? And he's like, what's up, dude? We got a lot to talk about, bro. Like I had that dream. Like I have lame ass dreams, and they're usually kind of scary about somebody that I've upset at some point, and I'm dealing with it in my dreams. Anywho, yeah, so I guess we'll find out more. So if anybody has information, please send it to sobadit'sgoodwithRyanBailey@gmail.com.
Please.
Fucking
This is fucking
Madison.
bullshit.
Madison.
Madison!
You are an insane person.
You're
Isn't that
insane.
guys that's what guys do, though. Like, that's like, I wonder if there's a scene of Carl like, Lindsay, you're insane. By the way, Carl, I will no longer be making my bed or drinking water like you've always recommended for all of us to do. I don't think starting my day making my bed works for shit anymore. I used to look up to Carl I have a real thing about looking up to guys and then guys just completely disappointing you. You know what I'm saying?
I am no longer waking up at 7 a.m. to go to Barry's.
Guys, I have stopped running. It has been now probably for 15 years, but it's because of Carl. And he's just and I don't think drinking water and making your bed army style means dick anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on, you guys, there's a lot of stuff to cover here. What did you think about, now we saw the Beyonce shows in LA, and it was really cool because some of the best work happened that night. Timothée Chalamet finally accepted a contract from the Kardashian Jenners. I hear it was like right up to the very last minute of like, will he go to the concert with Kylie? And he was like a couple deal points on the memo. And then finally he signed, and Kylie Jenner is having the best year ever. Got our first photos of them fondling each other at a concert, which I wonder if Kylie practiced this with, Courtney and Travis at all, of like, should I let him finger blast me at this show like you guys do in public? Like, what did you guys, and then we had the tennis, the US Open last week, and they were spotted again. What are your thoughts on the Chalamet Jenner romance? She needed this.
I am not okay. I'm really not okay. You know, I've kind of gone through like the 5 stages
of acceptance
grief.
yet?
No, I'm not. Yeah. And also, speaking of dreams, I had the most vivid dream last weekend that I was making out with Timothy, and he was like, want to go upstairs? This sounds fake. My alarm went off right before we were going to go upstairs. Upstairs where? I don't know, wherever we were.
Maybe it was heaven.
So yeah, I'm not okay. And yeah,
you're laying next to your boyfriend in bed, having a dream about little Timothy Chalamet going, hey babe, let's go upstairs. Well, you got a real man sitting right next to you. I know your guy's a good looking buff dude. I mean, like, good, in shape. And you got little toothpick Chalamet. I mean, this guy you could snap, like, and you're having a dream when you got a real man right next to you.
But if you know me, you know that he's always been one of my celeb crushes. Like, he just is one of my celeb crushes. I can't help my attraction to him. And I just think in general, like, Kylie's whole like recent rebrand is so interesting.
She's alternative. She's a little alternative now.
She's like quiet luxury, alternative, claw clip. And it's also at the same time, like, it seems like she's not only at the Beyonce concert, but at the US Open, like, she was hyper aware.
Oh yeah, the cameras,
hyper aware of being filmed. Like, you could see like the facial expressions. You could just tell that she knew she was being filmed. And I wonder, and I don't want to sound like Club Chalamet, like a delusional.
Guys, there's this account. There's this, for those of you not on Twitter that are living actual lives besides us. Club Chalamet is a Twitter account or like a social media account run by, I think, a 50-year-old woman that just is insanely passionate for Timothée Chalamet, which is all good. It's called Club Chalamet. And she was like, after this, she was like, guys, breaking news. This turns out to be true. I am here with you through all of this. We will get through this. Timothy will learn. Like, it was a really intense fandom moment that I found, I mean, we've all not been there exactly where we've started an Instagram, Twitter account about your favorite celebrity, but it was just like, this is how serious people take these celebrity romances. She
also tweeted, so like no one knew exactly how old she was, but but she tweeted on 9/11 about having like turned down a job offer in the World Trade Center before 9/11. People were like, literally, how old are you? If you had to turn down a job in the World Trade Center before 9/11, then you're way too old to be running a Timothy Chalamet Stan account.
Also, this is how warped we are as a society. I love that it's a post about 9/11 and people are like, wait, how old are you? Not like, God rest all of their souls. It's like, wait a sec, you fucking old hag. Like that was.
Someone was like, Timothy Chalamet was playing in a sandbox in Midtown while you were turning down a job.
Maybe she turned down the job of Timothy's nanny at that age. Who knows? But like,
oh my God,
she was a popletic. Like she was like really losing her shit, as was a lot of people. But a lot
of
people a lot of people seem to come around. Everybody's like, I guess they're cute, and I'm like, I don't think they're cute. I still think it's weird. He's a little like. And by the way, I think Timothy Chalamet is an insanely good actor. So I want to get that out of the way. I think he is good. I don't think he needs this. And it bums me out when, I don't know, because I feel like this gives him attention in not the ways that he would want attention as a really good actor, if that makes sense.
Okay, but here's my Club Chalamet-esque theory. Is that...
Wait, by the way, could you do Club Chalamet Jr.? Because you're like a more appropriate age for a Club Chalamet account.
Club Chalamet backup.
Club Chalamet for kids.
So I think that with the writers and actors strike happening right now, that there's no real way for Timothy to like promote Dune 2 or promote anything. And his relationship with Kylie is his team's way of getting him attention in a way that doesn't go against
it doesn't go against the SAG Writers Guild strike. It doesn't get
right.
Well, that's a long way to go for that, but I do giggle so much thinking about Kylie Jenner watching the movie Dune. Like, could you or even what was that movie that you watched with him last year? The Flesh and Bone.
Bones and All.
Bones and All. Like, I love to think about Kylie Jenner watching Call Me by Your Name. And like, come on, like Kylie's going from like Travis Scott, like sitting in the studio, potentially listening to Travis Scott, to watching Call Me by Your Name, which I think is a fantastic movie. But that's range. If Kylie Jenner is sitting there watching Dune and she's like a big Dune head, I think that's amazing. I think Kylie Jenner more of like a Marvel girl.
A Marvel girl.
I don't mean that. I like Marvel movies a lot. I'm just saying Dune's a little more esoteric and a little more dense, if you will.
I just think it's just really interesting to me. Like her whole, because it's not just, the relationship with Timothy Chalamet going from Travis Scott to Timothy Chalamet. It's like her style and her like Instagram posts. It's like leaning towards like cottagecore. Like here I am having a picnic in a field and like here I am growing watermelon. And here I am with like a huge Bottega bag, which Bottega is like kind of your quiet luxury brand because it doesn't have logos or anything loud and flashy. Yeah. It's just very high quality, gorgeous handbags. So yeah, and she's doing like the staged pap shoot. Something that really actually pissed me off the other day was that some staged pap shoot that she did where she has the huge Bottega bag and then is wearing like a crop top. So it's still like sexy, like bodycon, but it's more like, oh, but look, I'm wearing like pantyhose under. I'm like alternative with like my footwear choice. And her stomach is totally flat. The BBL looks a little bit smaller. And everyone was like, oh my God, this bounce back. She's never looked better. And I'm like, guys, come on. Her bounce back. Meanwhile, it's Photoshop and lipo. Like,
yeah.
God.
Well, do you think people like pitch her looks like people pitch TV shows of like, okay, like, is there like a presentation that they're like, Kylie, this is what we're picturing for your first date with Timothy Chalamet. Now, TC, he likes to wear these. We're thinking if you wore a leather ensemble, like, do you think people pitch her entire kind of persona looks?
Oh, well, I think this is all very strategic. And I think it was just, earlier this year / late last year that we were talking about how the Kardashians had kind of fallen off because what the youths are looking for now is like authenticity and, you know, unfiltered videos and stuff like that. Now you see Kylie like showing personality for the first time on TikTok and Instagram and like, you know, bare face and film photos and sundresses. It's like all very strategic in my mind, and it's smart. It's more, you know, targeting what Gen Z is into. So it's very strategic, and I think it's all very strategic.
How dope would that be if she fucking rolled up to the club in like a Toyota Corolla? Like, what if she goes like, you know, what if she's like, I can make this look cool? Like, just like an Acura or something really like she kind of like, she's just more like humble with everything. And she's just like, yeah, I saw Kylie at the AMC. Her and Timothée Chalamet were seeing the new Trolls movie, and they were just at the AMC at like 9:30 at night. Like, what if it's just like she becomes us?
That was something actually Club Chalamet said was, we know he loves Italian food. Why weren't they at Olive Garden?
When you're there, your family. That is something true. And by the way,
Can you imagine if they were at Olive Garden?
Oh shit! I wanted to tell you this. So Kenneth Kardashian, Lady Kim, she is starring in her first series regular role on the new iteration of American Horror Story Delicate, which premieres, I believe, this week. I think it's on the 20th. And now this is what my question to you is. I just realized this week. Now, since the Screen Actors Guild and Writers Guild strike is happening, Kim cannot promote American Horror Story. Now, A, do you think Kim is livid because she is so proud of this and she was so excited to be offered this? So do you think she is livid? Or B, do you think she is potentially horrible in this and the SAG strike is going to be like behoove her? It's going to help her because people like she won't be able to talk about it or be asked questions about it.
First of all, I'm pretty sure that her and Emma Roberts and the cast crossed the picket lines to film American Horror Story.
That is true at the very beginning.
So she's already technically a scab. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up promoting it anyway. There's not going to be like a red carpet premiere or anything like that. She looked, I mean, the trailer, and I watch American Horror Story every year, even though it's like so fucked up every season. It's like the most disgusting, scary, weird ass show ever, but I watch it every season. I watched the trailer. I don't really know what to think yet about this. It looks like Rosemary's Baby-esque.
Yeah.
But Kim, I mean,
Kim plays a character named Siobhan, which is, by the way,
first of all, her name is Siobhan. Since when has there ever been
name?
Has there ever been an Armenian-looking Siobhan ever? Like, what?
They wrote it for me. They let me pick my own name. Yeah, I'm
Siobhan.
My God. But by the way, just because we knew how hard Kim prepared for the Saturday Night Live that she hosted, that we heard nonstop about, I have a feel like, because by the way, I used to coach actors. You can like coach a good performance. Like there is no doubt in my mind that she will be at least passable, if not good. There's just no way Kim would say yes to this unless she was guaranteed that she will be considered good in it. That is my thoughts on it. I just don't think she's like swinging wildly of like, hope I'm good. I think she probably had extra takes. I think they like agreed to work with her. I truly believe that she would not have said yes to this if she wasn't assured of being amazing in it.
You're probably right. But in the trailer, it just, you know, it was just Kim Kardashian being like, Gorgina.
yeah. I mean, Kim is so well known that it's just hard to suspend reality. Like you just keep thinking like, oh my God, Kim's doing so good in this scene. Or Kim, you know, it's like you just think about Kim Kardashian and
it takes you out. Yeah, yes. It takes you out of Ryan Murphy's fucked up world.
His world that he has created. I loved the first season of American Horror Story. I loved it. It got like, that was weird, but then it got amped up so insane. Like that clown season where I was like, what am I?
Oh my God, freak show.
Yeah, that was insane.
You guys, it's literally the most fucked up show that's ever existed. I can think of so many scenes from the duration of this show, from multiple seasons, that have like literally stayed in my brain and I can't get them out.
Yeah.
Wait, did you watch all of Freak Show?
No, I literally stopped after like the second episode because I was like, oh, this is too much. Like I like scary stuff. I just didn't think there was a real, I don't know. I was just probably in a bad mood. And I was like, I'm not going to do this.
I don't blame you. Those of us that watch American Horror Story seasons all the way through are literally braver than the Marines.
What do you call yourselves? Club American Horror Stories?
American Horror Story whores. I don't know.
Okay, a couple other quick things. This is great. And this is like shows what a giving person she is. Have you guys heard of this lady, this Bethany Frankel, I think her name is? She used to be on Real Housewives of New York, and then I think she did I don't know what she's doing, but she loves the TikTok. She could run Club Chalamet. She got in trouble this weekend, supposedly. She gave a bunch of used makeup to her favorite TJ Maxx employee because she's a Maxxinista and she likes to do TikTok content from there. But I guess she gave a lot of used makeup. Now, Sophie, I was sitting there and I definitely had a lot of disagreements with Bethany Frankel about her stuff, but I was sitting there going, oh, okay. Like used makeup. That's nice. It's probably still pretty good makeup. But then I was told that is disgusting. Is that
it's
true?
Unsanitary.
What? Really?
Like, yes, like literally, like women's shelters will not accept makeup that's been opened or used. Like, that's gross.
Well, just because somebody's put their skin on the brush. I mean,
their skin, their face, their mouth, like their eyes. Yeah, no.
I've literally eaten out of a trash can.
I don't know what. Wait, I missed that.
I hate. There's so many Bethany Frankel things that I can disagree with. I just don't know what the used expensive makeup thing. Why that's a bad thing. You're already at TJ Maxx.
I missed that, but I also saw some video of her making and I love cottage cheese, by the way. I'm like the number one cottage cheese defender.
Guys, I want to clarify that. I want to start this off by saying I love cottage cheese.
I need to clarify. What if I did like a notes app? The rumors, don't believe the rumors.
Wait, by the way, Sophie's boyfriend came in. That's not milk. That's a big glass of cottage cheese.
It's like, it's like in a food processor, just liquid cottage cheese. So she made some like cottage cheese and egg white pancake. And it looked so disgusting. And then she's eating it. And she's eating it on camera and like the mouth noises of her like eating it. And she's
like, okay, Bethany, I know you think you're doing I know you think you're doing it right with the reality reckoning and the Rachel interview. I know you think, like, even if put that all to a side, can't we just agree to not chew that disgusting with your mouth open on camera? Like, can't we just start there?
So disgusting.
Let's just start there. Like,
oh my God. What's it called when you have like a fear of like, not just eating sounds, but just like sounds in general?
It's called Bethany Frankel. That's the actual term for it. No,
Bethany Frankel phobia.
Is it audio? I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying. I feel like Bethany. Like, why can't she even admit that's gross? Like she would.
Misophonia.
Misophonia.
Misophonia. So yeah, that's like my worst nightmare.
Okay, well,
and also the influencers that will do their get ready with me, and then they do like their serum, and they do like the bottle and like the squirting sounds of like their skincare. Oh my God, it gives me hives.
So Bethany Frankel, you guys, I've talked a lot about her, but it's been a month, and I just wanted to say the makeup story came out, but I'm still really curious the reality reckoning. I thought that Rachel interview was so sad because I still was left with so many things that I actually wanted to hear from Rachel. And Bethany was trying to like, jam in whatever she's trying to do. But also Bethany, I just feel like once again, it's like pick a lane. Do you want to be an influencer or do you want to be like this big Ralph Nader, I'm doing it for the little guy, like stand up for reality show people. Like I'm so confused with what she is anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think she knows who she is. Like she just seems like a lost like soul. It's very depressing to watch. in my opinion.
Well, speaking of Rachel in that Bethany interview, Rachel made her reappearance, and then she had her birthday last week, you guys. And Tom Sandoval on Instagram was like, "What's up, dude? Happy birthday, dude. I hope you're finding the peace and love that you deserve, dude. I miss you, friend." And then Rachel took that and posted it on her Instagram stories and was like, showed that she blocked him and was like, "Bye," with like a little emoji, bye. And then Tom Sandoval was on the red carpet or doing interviews for what's the new show he's doing? The Special Forces.
Special Forces.
Yeah, so he was doing that, and he got asked about it, and he said about Rachel, he said, maybe her parents were going to dock her allowance this week or something, and said that she was kind of thirsty. It was like sad and thirsty that she kind of said that. Now, is there any fucking way that Tom Sandoval is this dumb to continue to say, I feel like we're getting punked, and I feel like there's no way that this man who borrowed $250,000 from her mom, from his own mom for Schwartz and Sandy's, is saying anything about Rachel's parents after everything that he caused this woman. And I'm not a Rachel fan, and you guys know that, so I'm not sticking up for her. But are we getting punked here? Is there and I hate to be conspiratorial, but what the fuck? This seems like this man should have been told just to shut up about her, like, completely.
He's such an asshole. And actually, I was surprised when Rachel, first of all, he called her Rachel in his comment, which is what I guess this is part of her just like new chapter, is going back to her roots, being named Rachel. And she left her comments open on her Instagram, and it was all very supportive.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad that we as a society are no longer like shaming and punishing women to the point of like, God forbid, suicide or whatever it is. But like the way that our society has treated, Britney Spears or whoever it is, we've seen so many instances of treating women, holding them accountable for their mistakes to a degree that's far, far more extreme than the way that we hold men accountable. So you know what? I'm all for Rachel, finding herself, finding peace, no longer getting bullied and berated on social media. And I know that, like, as part of the Bravo fandom, we certainly were involved in some of the mockery, which, but she fucked up and she knows it.
Wait a second. I don't apologize for any of them. I'm sorry. Like, this is what, like, listen, we all have like really hard lives. If somebody does something this fucking idiotic on reality television, we're going to joke about it. We're going to laugh about it. Also, you did something horrible to somebody that I actually kind of consider a friend. I think it's fucking horrid what they did. And that hasn't like changed in the last couple of months. The thing that I find still weird though, is Tom, like, why would you keep commenting about Rachel and say anything negative at all? Why would you, like, just live your life? You got to get out of jail free card. You don't have to be with Ariana anymore. Go enjoy, try to pay for your bills, whatever you're doing. But why even bring up her name? Like, they don't make me think, like, is there something else going on? Is there something we don't know? But like, why do you keep bringing it up? Like, just be happy. You're going to be on The Masked Singer this season. You're going to be on, like, by the way, Ariana's on Dancing with the Stars, so we'll have to start voting for her in a couple weeks. And
Mauricio.
And Mauricio. Yeah. And Mauricio. So, I mean, like, and Jamie Lynn Spears, which, by the way, I know Ariana's a huge Britney Spears fan. So I'm so curious what those experiences are like for Ariana. And by the way, also, from what I hear, those rumors are true. With the season finale in San Francisco, Ariana did refuse to film a scene with Tom. And good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Why should she change? Like, why should she change that just for the show? Like, I think it's still going to be a good show.
Good for her. I understand why the producers wanted it to happen for the finale. I get it. But, if those are her boundaries, I totally, support her saying, no, I'm not going to. I'm not doing that. Like, I get it.
I like the thought of him hopping out of bushes like throughout the season trying to talk to Ariana. Like Chris Harrison used to be on The Bachelor when he would just pop out of nowhere and be like, seems like you have a bit of an issue tonight. Like I would love if Tom just kept like hopping, like, what's up, dude? What's up, Ariana? You want to talk to me? What's up? Like, I love that she just runs from him the entire season. That's hysterical.
I can't believe that, like, I know that they just filmed the finale, but I feel like it just like went by really fast. Yeah. Like them like filming this season. Like it just like it seemed like it was so fast.
They had to get it while strike while the iron's hot, which by the way, we just got an announcement that Scheana and Lala are doing a Christmas song. So there's that to look forward to. But like also, I mean, I feel like you had to film it that quickly. It'll be interesting to see if they rush it to air because you don't want to let too much air out of this because we were so rabid. It'll be interesting to see what Vanderpump Rules, how we respond to all of this. And Sophie, I know we hit an hour here. Do you have like 10 more minutes or what do you?
Duh.
Well,
I got nowhere to be. Okay. I just got my
pass the puss, pass the puss, pass the puss.
So wait. So I got a couple more things that are important things. And I wanted to ask you about, and I wanted to wait till we were deep in the show because they're kind of intense things. We had the Russell Brand stuff from this weekend. And there were a lot of accusations. Russell Brand, a truth teller. They've come after him for telling the truth, y'all. No, there's a lot of women that came forward on a documentary overseas that I think we should be able to see right now. I read the article today, but a lot of women came forward and he says, I've been completely honest in my past. I was I like to have sex with random people. But one woman was 16 years old when he assaulted her. But it's one of these interesting things because online, what you're hearing now is like he got too close to the truth and now they're taking him down. And I think two things can be true at once, folks. He might make good points about big pharma, but he also might be somebody that's done really fucking awful things to women. Two things can be true at once. And like, if you are going to talk like shit like that, and by the way, whatever you're like, if you're going to talk, make sure people are going to dig into your past. And he did this kind of preemptive thing of like, you guys, I just got news that I was going to be come for. And, I just want you to know there's nothing criminal ever. It was so weird. What is your thoughts on this? And can you say this more clear than I am right now about everything?
Okay, so I actually haven't had a chance to read the article yet. I have a bunch of long read articles saved on my phone right now for me to read when I have a chance because it was Rosh Hashanah, so I didn't have a ton of time this weekend to read it. And also the one, what's his name? The comedian, the Patriot Act comedian.
Hassan Minaj.
Yes. So there was another long read about him and about him making up stories about real people that affected their life. I need to read it. These are stories I'm really excited to read. But I saw tidbits from the Russell Brand story, and obviously it's extremely disturbing. Trigger warning for, if you haven't read it yet. One of the bits that I found extremely disturbing was about, the 16-year-old girl, him getting very turned on by the fact that she was a virgin. And him saying, oh, my baby, and rocking her like a baby. Sickening. And this video that he preemptively put out, where he's like, this is what happens when you get too close to the truth. They come for you. The media comes for you. And I'm like, okay, come on, relax. And there was one part of the video, which I'm sure you've seen, where he goes, all of these relationships that I've had, I was a womanizer, but all of the relationships I had were 100% consensual. And it's right when the video, there's an edit, a splice. Yeah. It's what if they have to splice out before he says the word consensual?
They were mostly. Oh my God. No, it's I don't know. Listen, I've never, and if you've listened to the show, I've never been a Russell Brand fan. And also here's somebody that's so good with his words and he's taken on another life of questioning the power, whatever. Everybody finds their own grift. And a lot of you guys I know probably like him. I've just never responded to him, and I think he was one of the worst actors, and I'm glad he stopped doing films, because that he made this movie remake of the movie Arthur that I just loathed. I didn't even get him to the Greek. I'm sorry. I once had a dream about Russell Brand years ago, and I said, I remember tweeting, I said, I just woke up, I had a dream about Russell Brand, I'm exhausted, because he just kept talking. He just talks, and he's good with his words, but it's always be careful of those people. Be careful of people that are that good with their words. Really heavily disappointing. Also on the heels of the Dayna Masterson being sent away for 30 years.
Oh my God. Thank God. That was such a, relief when he finally got sentenced, because his first trial ended in a mistrial. So, he deserves to rot away forever based on, all of these things that have come out about him. It wasn't just rape. It was literally beating and, nearly killing women.
And you can read all of the testimony from these women online. So, and these are things that were submitted to the court. This is what they based his sentence on. And so if you are curious why this happened, you can read all about this. And these ladies' accounts are horrifying. And he was a danger to society. And I'm so glad Ashton and Mila have gotten the amount of backlash that they have gotten. What? It's so wild. I understand, I guess. I mean, I don't really understand. It's like Iggy Azalea writing the letter for Tory Lanez. I never know his name. Tory Lanez, Tony Lanez. Who cares? I think it's Tory Lanez.
He's in prison for 20 years.
What she's referring to, you guys, Tory Lanez got there were a lot of letters to the judge, just like Ashton and Mila did for Danny. But she did one to the judge, and it said, Judge, I am well-respected musical artist. And she said how respected she was, and how many artists she's worked with, and how many millions. And I just I think that's just so funny, and it makes me a little sad, because Iggy Azalea had that one really great song, and then
10 years ago, literally 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's she's been making bad decisions ever since. And I just felt this letter was wild. But when you're standing up for your friend, you're already kind of showing us that you're not reliable. Because they're your friend. You already know the outcome that you want to see. You're not thinking with a clear head. You're standing up for your friend. You're not standing up for these women.
It's just what do these people clearly think? Oh, these are going to be sealed away, totally confidential. They'll never leak to the public. And then they end up leaking to the public. And obviously with Ashton and Mila, they released that, apology video where they just seemed so angry and combative that they even had to record this video.
They're we're rich. We had a great weekend ahead of us.
It's also they just, were kind of fixtures in Hollywood without really doing much working anymore, because they've made a ton of money from Ashton's business ventures and investments and all of the tech stuff that he does. It's you could have just kept your reputation and not done anything. But now literally everyone hates you. Now no one wants to see you ever again.
Just some money to
and Ashton ended up resigning from his sex trafficking organization, which is 100% the right call. He should have, no place when it comes to advocating for victims. I just didn't realize also how, and Winter Mitchell, who I love, tweeted about this, about when you if you were in Hollywood in the early 2000s, you can't even fathom, unless you were there, how much That 70s Show cast, the way that she said it was that their tentacles were in everything. And I think that, and it's the Scientology of it all. I just didn't realize how fucked up That 70s Show cast was. And, how deep into Scientology, obviously, Danny Masterson was, to the point that they were.
Laura Prepon from That 70s Show is a Scientologist.
God.
Mila and Ash.
I can't watch that show ever again. I can't watch it.
But Mila and Ashton should have shut up and just sent Danny money for commissary. Like, that's all they should have done. They should have just sent him money for commissary, which, speaking of commissary, I needed to talk. This was just so great because we've talked about this, the possibility of this happening. And then it actually happened, is that Jen Shah in prison right now became pals with Elizabeth Holmes, and they are actually friends in prison. We had people reporting. This is the quote. They're friends. They're both rehabilitating and have bonded over being on this journey of positive change. Their situations brought them together and they have a good understanding of one another. They're getting through it together, end quote.
Like, who's the source for this?
It sounds like they're knocking boots. Like, this sounds even, how are you? Elizabeth Holmes just got in there like a month and a half ago. I knew that Jen Shah would be on her like white on rice, man. Like, she, like, because Elizabeth Holmes is probably like, oh, is anybody going to be cool with me? Okay. And like, she's probably doesn't know who the hell Jen Shah is. And now Jen Shah just got in there, which, by the way, Elizabeth Holmes is the founder of Theranos, which was just a huge scam with like One Drop of Blood. They had that amazing series on Hulu, The Dropout, last year.
Yeah, if you don't know who Elizabeth Holmes is at this point, we have a lot of
yeah, you guys haven't listened to the show. But this is the Jen Shawshank redemption of like, get busy living or get busy dying, Jen. Like with Elizabeth's deep voice, like what if they try to break out of prison together?
They're like scissoring in prison. Like, that's what I just pictured.
Yeah, Heather Gay was so pissed about the scissor rumor. Jen Shah now is scissoring with Elizabeth Holmes.
No, it's like
Report that people.
Did you see that Pennsylvania convict that escaped and he got caught? But the way that he got out of prison was he crab walked
the
up
Spider-Man
the wall.
walk. Yeah, he got
like
caught.
I'm just picturing Jen Shah and Elizabeth Holmes. They also like physically could not be more different. Like, oh my God.
I'm telling you though, like that actually makes me so happy to hear. Like, I just love thinking about, like, you could write fan fiction of what they talk about, because Jen probably was sly and acted like she didn't know who Elizabeth Holmes was, but the whole time she knew. Like, that Jen, I just feel like Jen targeted this lady. I don't know why.
Honestly, I can see that. I can see that.
Okay.
But God is good. God is good for giving us these two together.
Okay, really quickly, two things. We're not gonna. I'll do the. Okay, so Real Housewives of Orange County. What are you thinking about it? Did you watch this week?
Okay, so I was like so many episodes behind, and I caught up, but now I'm 1.5 episodes behind. So I still have some catching up to do. But I'm liking it this season. I think that Tamra is overproducing herself.
She's overproducing herself.
Yeah. But it also, like, in the same vein, maybe it's a good thing because the show has been very entertaining this season for the first time in a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
What else? I love Emily. I am an Emily Simpson stan, and I have been for a while. Let me just say that. Gina can go. Who else?
Gina, how are you? I'm quirky. Yeah. Terry DeBro sold their house for $55 million, and he said that's not just FU money. That's like, I own everything.
FU and everyone you know money.
It is like, if you have that much money, I don't know what that desire to be on television is. Like, it's like Heather keeps thinking that this is going to lead to her being Meryl Streep someday. Like, we bought a new house in Beverly Hills so I can get closer for auditions. And it's like, Heather, dude, most auditions are put on tape now. You don't even go into the office. Why are you moving closer? You just record your auditions.
Heather, give it up. You don't need to cosplay as an actress anymore. Like, you just sold your house for $55 million.
I want to see her do like independent theater. Like, if you're that into acting, do like just like a play or something. Go to like community theater and do musicals.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah, you should.
That also would. That's what you do when you actually are passionate about your craft.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Okay, so Real Housewives, and by the way, you're right about Tamra. In fact, Tamra was on Watch What Happens Live with Vicky and Shannon this week, and they were playing this game of who don't we need on the cast anymore. And Vicky was like, get rid of Heather. And Tamra goes, no, we need Heather. And that shows you how Tamra thinks, is that she does think like a producer. And I need that to stop because the show does need Heather. It does. And Tamra knows that because it gives them somebody to make fun of and pick on because she's Miss Fancy Pants. But the fact that Tamra knows that is it goes against the natural order of things. And it's not, eventually it's going to cause a car crash.
Also, the ratings for Vicky's episodes have been so high. I think that Vicky might.
Oh, she's back.
I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I really do hope she gets her orange back.
I think she will. In fact, they're giving her the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BravoCon this year, the first ever. And they announced it to her on Watch What Happens Live. And you could tell that Vicky, like she needed that. She was like, Andy, are you kidding me? Like she like these ladies, they take it like, God bless them. They take it so seriously. It is like Mr. Holland's Opus, but with Vicky Gunvalson. And it is so fascinating how much these ladies, once they get into the ecosystem of the housewives, just are they need it now for the rest of their lives. It's like crack cocaine.
Well, it's for some of them, it's like all they have, like let's look at the Trace Amigas, like Tamra and Eddie. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't think that they're in a happy marriage at the moment. They no longer have.
They're asexual like Paige and Tom Cruise to me. Could you imagine Tamra, like even that bathtub scene with Tamra and Eddie all that long time ago? That's the American Horror Story. That's freak show right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And then there's no cut fitness. Shannon's love life is sadly, a mess.
I'm John Jansen.
Vicky, I don't know what's going on with Vicky and her boy toy. I know she's having some great sex, apparently.
By the way, Vicky is a stallion. Vicky probably throws down in the bedroom so hard. She probably does shit that is just insane. Now, Shannon and Tamra, I don't think so at all, which is fine. But Vicky, she is a freak.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's what? Wait, what did she always say? Woo!
Woo! Whoop it up!
Whoop it up!
It ain't about the pop.
You have a little family van. When do you ever bring a family van to pick up 6 people?
She needs her love. She needs her love tank filled, tickled, stimulated.
Oh, just the word tickling in Vicky just upset me so much. You guys, you know what? We have I had 40 more stories, but listen, this is an ongoing conversation as always. I do want to highlight Sophie Ross, who just came back from her Parisian getaway. How was the vacation overall? Was it truly amazing? The pictures looked awesome.
It was amazing. And I'm also having post-vacation depression. I got back a couple weeks ago, but it's it's depressing coming back to real life and just looking at photos and just being depressed. I've been a little bit emo about it, but
because life was so amazing.
If anyone needs recs, we had an amazing trip and have a lot of recs if you're planning a trip to either the south of France or Paris. What was your favorite moment? And what was your boyfriend's favorite moment? Were they two separate moments? There were a lot of funny things that happened. I projectile vomited, not from being hungover, but just literally from being nauseous. And we were staying at a hotel that had 4 people in it. It was this very tiny boutique hotel, and I projectile vomited next to the pool. I was trying to run away from the pool. We tried to clean it up with towels. But yeah, that was a funny moment. But that was in Aix-en-Provence, which was our favorite place that we went. And also in Aix-en-Provence, I had a bee stuck up my maxi skirt for an hour. And I was like, what is that? I was I keep feeling these bites or stings or something. And it was a wasp.
Stuck and I had maxi skirt?
Stuck up my maxi skirt. So I had multiple terrible bee stings around my crotch for the rest of the trip.
Did Bethany Frankel give you the maxi skirt and it was used and it had a wasp in it? And that's why she's like,
oh my God,
it's your maxi skirt. It's used. That's wild. So were you like going around screaming that night?
No, I was just like, what is that? Like, ow, what is that? And then we were on a tour. We basically were on a tour, like at a vineyard. So yeah, there were like just like funny things that happened. But I guess my favorite part was just spending time with my boo thing. We made a lot of good memories and took great photos. So
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you know where to find her on Twitter. You know where to find her on Instagram, but I'll put those in the show notes as well. You can also super follow her on, not Twitter, X. And you can unlock extended things because, by the way, I think Sophie is one of those people that will write a book one day. So make sure you follow her on all platforms. And I think I'll be seeing Sophie while I'm here in New York, even though it's weird that I'm in New York right now and so is she, and we're just doing this online. But I didn't know how to do it in person with the new system. So that's that.
Yay!
And,
I'm so excited to see you this weekend.
Thank you for everything. And thank you to your family once again. And thank you to you guys listening. And like I said, there's not tons of changes. This is the same goofy show. So thank you for even caring about us. Thank you for caring about the show. Thank you for caring about me and my family. And that really does mean, that means the world to me in ways that I have not comprehended yet. And Sophie, thank you for being the first guest today. I really appreciate it.
It was an honor, of course. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, you are so very loved, and I just hope you remember that everyone loves you so much, but me especially.
No. I can't hear it. I get uncomfortable. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, it's stopping now.